Hi everyone, it's been a little while. So I've been taking a little break from the channel for the last couple of months. What do you mean I haven't noticed? You know what it's like. Sometimes life takes over and take a little break. But I'm back and I'm really excited and looking forward to doing more videos for you. What have I been doing? So I've been very well, and also, yeah, I had my hair cut. It just is nice for a change. And you might notice that I'm actually not in the kitchen. That's because I'm in my living room and I'm sitting in front of my fireplace. So hence this slightly unusual backdrop. So London's been really, really hot for the last month or so. I'll show you what it's like today. Look at this, 31 degree, could be 32. It's extremely unusual for London to be this hot. So I think, you know, your body trying to adjust to it. So I'm looking forward to doing more sort of summery dishes, you know, when it's hot and you don't know what to eat and you just want something really easy to prepare, something really fresh and easy to do. So I'm looking forward to doing those. So to mark my return, I thought I'd kickstart with some Q&A and answer some questions that's either been asked by people watching this channel or people around me. Some questions I get asked all the time, and I thought I'd grab this opportunity to answer them all for you. So let's get started. This is a question that's been asked pretty much everyone the moment I mention I'm a vegan. There are also a couple of people from the channel ask the same question. So from Victoria Q, she says, please share a video someday why you're vegan and why it's good for you. And also by Cleomi, thank you Cleomi. It says, you mentioned that you're a vegan convert just a few years ago. What inspired you to change? Can you do a video on it? And what do you eat every day? So there are two simple questions. Let me answer the first one in terms of why I'm a vegan. So I started off as a vegetarian. It was back in 2006 or 7, I think. And the reason for that, someone somewhere planted the seeds, or maybe I was on a path. Growing up, I always loved animals. So it didn't happen overnight. It kind of brewing inside me for a long time, maybe without me realizing it. I always loved animals. I love cats and dogs. You know, I was surrounded by them. As anyone who's got pets, you would do anything for them. You know, you would throw away your life for them if necessary. So I think innerly, I started to ask questions to myself as well. You know, if I love cats and dogs so much, why is it okay for me to turn around and have some chicken you know, for lunch and without a thought about it? It started to create conflict within myself, but I couldn't answer it because if I were to answer it, the answer would be stop eating them. And but like a lot of you and like most people on this planet, we are so deeply conditioned to eat meat. We see certain type of animals as food without questioning it. And I was just like that. I was brought up eating a lot of seafood, a lot of meat, and it's just part of my life. It's just like everyone else. So I was too afraid, looking back, I was too afraid to answer that question because I wasn't sure that I could become a vegetarian. It just seems so foreign and so far away. So I kind of parked it in my mind for a long time. Until, you know, life is like that. When you're tuning into a certain channel and you're on certain paths, you start to see things that you couldn't see before. You start to absorb things that you probably would have rejected it before, and your heart starts to open. So initially I thought, well, I couldn't possibly become vegetarian because I love seafood so much. I could probably give up meat, but I love fish. So what am I gonna do? So I'm glad I didn't rush into it. I think if I rush into it being pushed by guilt or a sense of wanting to change, it probably wouldn't have gone so smoothly. So in a way, I I kind of left it and leave it to mature in my mind until one day I woke up one morning and go, oh, I think I'm going veggie today. And I just did. It wasn't a big deal. I mean, obviously, initially I had to do quite a lot of research in terms of what I want to eat and not want to eat, and kind of replacing things that I used to eat, that kind of stuff. But there wasn't any doubt in my mind that was something I wanted to do. And the same thing with turning vegan. So I went vegan, I think it was back in 2011. Similar thing. It's probably summer as well. There's something about summer with me. So I just woke up one morning and I said, I think I'm going vegan from today. And that was it. I think everyone is so different. And with me, it was more of kind of flowing with it rather than going, oh my God, it's terrible to eat animals, therefore I'm going to do this and that and the other. It might work like that for some people, but for me, it was kind of gradually, I just let it kind of become me rather than going, this is what I'm going to do. So this is not something that I do, I just become it. That's how it happened for me. And I love to hear your experience, so, it varies so much. So the one thing I learned with the experiences is not to be driven by guilt. Depends on who you talk to. Some people might think there are different levels of vegan. They're kind of ranking it and see how hardcore you can be. And there's nothing fundamentally wrong with that. But I think for me, it doesn't work very well because I think being a vegan is more, it's a process. It's not something that I want to become instantly. You take steps and do what works for you, what makes sense to you. And that's how I did it. So every day is a new day. Every day you make decisions on what to eat, what not to eat. And it's not all diet, there's lifestyle choices as well. And personally for me, I try not to get into the area of being black and white or right or wrong. You do whatever you can today. You do the best today with the best intention. And that's how I move forward. So I hope that makes sense. The second question by Cleome is that, what do you eat every day? Is it going to be a very short or very long answer? So I eat very simple food. At home, if I cook at home. If I eat out, yes, it gets a little bit fancy. But at home, I really keep it as simple as possible. Not just because I want to avoid a hassle. It's just the kind of food I like. Food that you can see what they are and not to be fussed over too much. And it changes throughout the time and seasons. So currently, a lot of cold food, a lot of salady type of things. But also recently I really, really love is cabbage, raw cabbage. So I get these big cabbages from my local greengrocer, those kind of Turkish ones, they're slightly flatter and some of them quite big. And what I do is basically slice them thinly. I will use up an entire cabbage and then pour in a lot of vinegar, any type of vinegar, and then a tiny bit of salt. And basically you marinate it. You can eat it right away if you want to, like a side salad or as a starter. You can leave the rest in a bag and leave in the fridge. It's delicious. It's not sauerkraut, but it's a little bit like that. So I've been eating that. So I've been eating that almost every meal for weeks now. So that's my favorite, one of my favorite things at the moment. And other than that, I'll have some fried tofu, and I love mushrooms. So sometimes I grill mushrooms and asparagus. I love asparagus. So I tend to stick with food that is really easy to cook and I love a lot. And throughout the time, I think you're able to, you kind of learn to have conversation with your body. It tells you what you need if you really listen to it. Sometimes I crave for a certain type of food in a certain way. So I go through phases that I just crave for raw spinach. And I would just eat it like that, like a snack. I'll snack it whenever I can. So there's stuff like that. I think when you're eating food that your body wants, it really makes you happy. I mean, obviously, if you crave for something that's slightly naughty, I think once in a while there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, so I tend to stick with fresh vegetables And I love tofu, so I eat a lot of tofu. And I'm very, very happy. So the next question is from TQ. It says, by the way, what's your actual name?